The scorching summer of 1962 in Chile. Imagine yourself sitting in an old movie theater where black and white footage of the Spanish national team from that era begins to play through the lens of memory. It was a dream team, but one with a cruel fate. A collection of the greatest individuals in football history, yet unable to reach the ultimate glory. More than 60 years have passed, and those runs on the South American pitches are now only faint footprints of time. Behind the glory and the tears of defeat lie 22 lives with 22 different destinies. We will journey together through each chapter of the novel titled The 1962 Generation to see that football is not just about statistics, but the breath of destiny. Francisco Gento is an absolute icon of speed and grace. At 28, he was at the peak of his career, a terror to defenses worldwide. With lightning-fast feet and millimeter-accurate crosses, Gento was more than just a pure winger. He was the soul of attacking down the flanks, capable of turning the tide of a match with a single burst of speed. His performance in Chile that year, even though the team couldn't go far, was still a testament to the class of a world-class star, a player who brought the Real Madrid philosophy of play to the international stage. After the 1962 tournament, Gento's career continued to flourish in a way rarely seen in football history. He became the only player to date to win 6 European Cups, a record that seems unbreakable. Gento dedicated 18 years of his youth to Real Madrid, making himself an immortal icon of loyalty. Off the pitch, Gento was an extremely quiet and humble man. He didn't like the spotlight or lavish parties. His joy was being with his family and quietly contributing to the club as an ambassador, and later as honorary president. He was loved for his dignified demeanor, always willing to guide younger generations like Raúl and Zidane with the experience of someone who had seen every glory. The most thought-provoking aspect is the connection between the image of a fierce whirlwind on the pitch and a calm soul off the field. It seems Gento poured all his energy and explosiveness into his runs on the grass, only to return to his nature as a refined and unassuming gentleman when he left it. However, that glorious journey, spanning nearly a century, came to an abrupt end. On January 18, 2022, Francisco Gento passed away at the age of 88 in Madrid. His passing leaves a vast void in the history of world football, but the legacy of a graceful whirlwind will forever live on in the hearts of those who love beautiful football. Ferenc Puskás stepped onto the pitch in a truly special position. At 35, he was no longer the slender Hungarian boy of 1954, but a seasoned major in the red jersey of Spain. Although his speed had diminished, his left foot remained a football marvel, with shots of incredible trajectory. In that team, Puskás served as a spiritual anchor, a genius brain capable of delivering deadly passes from 40 meters. His performance in Chile was proof that genius knows no age, and class is something that endures forever. Puskás's life after 1962 was a dramatic adventure. After retiring from Real Madrid in 1966, he traveled the world as a coach from Greece, Egypt, and Paraguay to Australia. Everywhere he went, he carried with him his philosophy of fiery attacking football and his generous spirit. Puskás was known for his extreme generosity. He readily gave expensive watches or money to former teammates in need without hesitation. His private life was closely tied to his wife, Erzsébet, who stood by him through his turbulent years in exile. He always longed to return to his homeland of Hungary, and finally, in his final years, he was welcomed as a national hero in Budapest. The image of a deadly striker with thunderous shots on the pitch seems to be the complete opposite of a gentle, kind, and somewhat vulnerable Puskás in everyday life. He was an artist of goals, but also a soul always lost when far from his homeland. However, that tumultuous journey ended in immeasurable sorrow. On November 17, 2006, Ferenc Puskás passed away at the age of 79 due to Alzheimer's disease and pneumonia. The legacy he left behind is not only the title of top scorer of the century, but also a story of extraordinary resilience of a man who overcame political obstacles to become a global icon. Luis Suarez was the poet on the Spanish football pitch in 1962. At the age of 27, with the Ballon d'Or in hand, he held the key to the team's style of play. Suarez possessed a tactical vision ahead of his time, able to spot gaps that no one else saw and execute long passes that pierced any defense. In the heat of Chile, he played like an artist conducting an orchestra, calm and proud. Suarez's performance brilliantly demonstrated the character of a great player, one who was never subdued by pressure. Following his success at this World Cup, Luis Suarez's career took a remarkable turn when he moved to Inter Milan to build the Grande Inter empire alongside Helenio Herrera. There, he won numerous Scudetto and European Cup titles, solidifying his position as the best midfielder in Europe at the time. Off the pitch, Suarez was an incredibly refined individual, culturally knowledgeable, and lived a disciplined life. He devoted much of his time to studying tactics and later became one of the most respected technical directors in world football. He enjoyed a peaceful family life in Milan, which he considered his second home. Suarez always maintained a superb balance between the glamour of the pitch and his private life. He participated in many social activities, but always remained discreet and sincere. The connection between his role as an architect on the field and his real life was clear. He always organized his life in a neat and scientific way, just as he orchestrated a football match. He wasn't a man of scandals, but a man of enduring intellectual values. However, that intellectual journey had to come to an end. On July 9, 2023, Luis Suarez passed away at the age of 88 in Milan. His passing is a great loss, but his trademark long passes will always be remembered as a benchmark of beauty in football. Alfredo Di Stefano embodies a painful paradox. At the age of 35, Real Madrid's greatest legend was included in the World Cup squad in Chile. But a terrible injury prevented him from playing even a single minute. He was the golden arrow, a player who could play in any position on the field, from defender to forward, with boundless energy and a footballing mindset far ahead of his time. His being sidelined while his teammates played is one of the greatest tragedies in World Cup history. The image of Di Stefano on the bench that year is a symbol of helplessness in the face of fate. After 1962, his career at Real Madrid gradually came to an end, but his prestige never diminished. Di Stefano transitioned to coaching, leading several major teams such as Valencia and Real Madrid to resounding success. Off the field, he was a very strong-willed, outspoken, and sometimes harsh individual. He never tolerated laziness or superficiality. However, behind that tough exterior was a man who deeply loved his family and cherished traditional values. He survived the horrific kidnapping in Venezuela in 1963, an event that completely changed his perspective on life and the safety of his family. In his final years, he was honored as the honorary president of Real Madrid, always appearing at signing ceremonies for new stars as a blessing from the past. The image of a tireless warrior on the pitch seemed to strangely permeate his life, as he constantly struggled with adversity and challenges until the very last moment. While on the field he was domineering and powerful, off the field, Di Stefano was a compassionate man who cared deeply for the underprivileged. However, that tumultuous journey came to an end. On July 7, 2014, Alfredo Di Stefano passed away at the age of 88 after a sudden heart attack. His legacy is a philosophy of total football, where the player must be both an artist and a warrior, a spirit that will forever be the breath of the stadium bearing his name. Joaquin Peiró was a true killer in the penalty area. At 26, nicknamed El Galgo, the Hound, he possessed explosive speed and a keen goal-scoring instinct rarely seen. Pero scored the only goal that helped Spain defeat Mexico, offering a glimmer of hope in that tournament. His performance was full of courage and desire, demonstrating the spirit of a player always ready to sacrifice for his country. He was not just a striker, but a warrior who never stopped running until the final whistle. Following his success in Chile, Pero's career took a brilliant new turn when he moved to Italy. He became a key player for Inter Milan during their golden era, winning the Champions League and numerous Serie A titles. Pero's life is a testament to overcoming adversity. After retiring, he transitioned to coaching and achieved incredible success, particularly in leading Malaga to new heights. Off the field, Pero was a calm, humble man with strong faith. He balanced the glamour of the pitch by dedicating time to his family and participating in charitable activities in his hometown of Madrid. He always maintained a youthful spirit and a burning love for football, even in his twilight years. What is thought-provoking is the contrast between a fierce hunter on the pitch and a gentle, calm man off the field. It seems that football was where he released his most powerful energy, and when he returned home, he was a warm father and grandfather. However, that journey of resilience came to an abrupt end. On March 18, 2020, Joaquin Pero passed away at the age of 84 after a long illness. His death at a time when the world was facing a pandemic added to the sorrow. His legacy consists of incredible goals and a noble character that continues to inspire the younger generation. At the age of 27 at the 1962 World Cup, Luis del Sol embodied the boundless energy in Spain's midfield. Italian fans later nicknamed him Sette Polmoni, 7 lungs, for his tireless movement across the pitch. In that team, Del Sol was the one who cleared every problem, acting as a link between defense and attack with a fiery fighting spirit. His performance in Chile brilliantly showcased the identity of a player who played with all his heart and dedication, unafraid of any difficult task. After the 1962 tournament, Del Sol made history by becoming the first Spanish player to wear the Juventus jersey. In Turin, he became a legend, the soul of the old lady for almost a decade. Off the field, Del Sol was an extremely simple and down-to-earth person. He disliked the media frenzy and always focused on his work and family. After retiring, he returned to his hometown club, Real Betis, to work as a coach and technical director, dedicating the final years of his career to the place where he started. He had a happy family life in Seville, where he was respected as a symbol of loyalty. Del Sol was also actively involved in social activities, especially supporting youth football training in disadvantaged areas. The connection between his on-field nickname, 7 Lungs, and his real life was his resilience in the face of adversity. He confronted life's ups and downs with the same calm and unwavering attitude he displayed on the pitch. While on the field, he was a warrior who never backed down. Off the field, Luis del Sol was a warm and incredibly empathetic man. However, that enduring journey came to an end. On June 20th, 2021, Luis del Sol passed away at the age of 86 in Seville. His passing left fans in both Spain and Italy deeply saddened, closing the final chapter of one of the greatest midfielders of all time. José Santamaría entered the 1962 World Cup at the age of 32, with the wealth of experience of having played for 2 different national teams, Uruguay and Spain. He was a rock in the defense, a defender who played with his brain more than his muscles. Santamaría possessed excellent situational awareness, always being in the right place to neutralize danger. In that team, he commanded the defense, providing the necessary composure under pressure from strong opponents. His performance in Chile was proof of the experience and class of one of the best central defenders in Real Madrid's history. Santamaría's career continued to flourish after 1962 with more La Liga and European Cup titles. After retiring from playing, he transitioned to coaching, culminating in leading the Spanish national team to the 1982 World Cup on home soil. Off the field, Santa Maria was an exceptionally knowledgeable man with refined taste and a great passion for the arts. He balanced his life by participating in cultural and social activities in Madrid. He had a happy family and was an exemplary father who always guided his children towards intellectual values. The way he handled the pressures of coaching the national team demonstrated extraordinary composure and the inherent calmness of a defensive leader. What is most valuable is the connection between his role as a guardian on the field and his real life. Santa Maria has always been a defender of traditional values and ethics in football. While on the field, he is a cool and fierce man. Off the field, José Santa Maria is a refined and deeply sincere gentleman. Today, at the age of 96, he is still living a peaceful life and regularly follows the progress of Real Madrid. His journey is a testament to wisdom and tireless effort, continuing to inspire young central defenders around the world. Adelardo Rodriguez is one of Spain's brightest young talents. With his versatile, intelligent play and fearsome long-range shot, he scored a crucial goal against Brazil, proving that age is no barrier to shining on the biggest stage in the world. In that team, Adelardo was the link between the lines, playing with a fierce fighting spirit and not afraid of physical contact. His performance in Chile brilliantly showcased the potential of a future legend. After the 1962 tournament, Adelardo wrote one of the most beautiful chapters in Atletico Madrid's history, dedicating 17 years to the club. He became the club's most capped player for decades, winning numerous La Liga and Copa del Rey titles. Off the field, Adelardo was incredibly humble and responsible. He devoted himself to charitable activities, particularly the Atletico Madrid Charity Fund, to help underprivileged children. He had a fulfilling family life, always staying away from the spotlight and maintaining the image of an exemplary player. After retiring, he continued to work for the club in various roles, inspiring younger generations with his love and loyalty. The connection between his role as a connector on the pitch and his real life is striking. Adelardo has always been a connector of the community and the hearts of football lovers. While on the field, he is passionate and decisive. Off the pitch, Adelardo is a warm, approachable man, always full of positive energy. Today, at 86, he continues to play the role of an experienced senior figure, a living icon at Wanda Metropolitano. Every time he appears, fans are reminded of the glorious era of Los Colchoneros, in which he was a part. Enrique Collar entered the 1962 World Cup at the age of 27 as the captain and heart of Atletico Madrid. He was a winger with a tricky playing style, exquisite individual technique, and incredibly effective crossing ability. In the Spanish squad that year, Collar was the driving force on the wing, always knowing how to create breakthroughs with his spontaneous dribbling. His performance in Chile, despite facing difficulties against the tall defenders of the opposing team, still demonstrated the proud character of a son of Madrid. Collar's career continued to be intertwined with Atletico Madrid's successes in the 1960s, where he and Pero formed the famous Collar-Pero partnership. After retiring from playing, he did not choose a coaching career, but instead moved into finance and banking, demonstrating his versatility and excellent adaptability to life after football. Off the field, Collar is an extremely polite man with a refined lifestyle and a deep appreciation for friendship. He dedicates much of his time to his family and the activities of the former Players Association, always striving to maintain the traditional values of the Rossoneri. He is a devoted husband and father who encourages his children to pursue their passions in a genuine way. What is truly thought-provoking is the consistency between the image of an exemplary captain on the field and a model citizen off the field. While on the pitch, he was a flamboyant artist. Off the field, Enrique Collar was a calm man with a profound philosophy of life. Today, at 91 years old, he remains healthy and frequently appears at Atletico Madrid's celebratory events. Every step taken by his successors on the pitch seems to carry the breath and spirit of El Niño from years past, a man who dedicated his life to enriching the history of Spanish football. Feliciano Revilla, at the age of 25 in Chile in 1962, was one of the best right-backs Spanish football has ever produced. With his solid, disciplined play and excellent situational awareness, he was a reliable defender on the right flank. In that team, Revilla wasn't particularly outstanding in terms of goals, but his presence provided absolute reassurance to his teammates further up the field. His performances demonstrated the unwavering resilience of a quiet defender who always did his job well without needing praise. After 1962, Revilla continued to achieve glory with Atletico Madrid and, notably, won the 1964 European Championship with the national team. After retiring, he became a successful businessman and the founder of the Spanish Former Players Association, dedicating much of his time to caring for his colleagues in their old age. Off the field, Revilla was a kind-hearted man, quietly carrying out charitable activities without seeking media attention. He had a warm family life and always valued sincerity and gratitude. His ability to balance his busy business career with his private life is a testament to the iron discipline forged on the football field. His career and life were an example of quiet dedication. While on the field, he was a silent hero. Off the field, Feliciano Revilla was also a humble man, always behind the successes of the community. However, that glorious journey came to an end. On November 6, 2017, Feliciano Revilla passed away at the age of 82 in Madrid. His passing left a deep sadness, but his efforts in building the Veterans Association will forever be a valuable legacy, benefiting countless generations of players to come. Carmelo Cedrún was the last bastion of hope. At 31, he possessed the indomitable spirit of the Basque people, with exceptional reflexes and a powerful command of the penalty area. In that team, Carmelo was more than just a goalkeeper. He was a solid wall against the relentless attacks of Brazil and Mexico. His performance in Chile brilliantly showcased the mettle of a true goalkeeper, saving countless certain goals for his team. After the 1962 tournament, Carmelo continued his illustrious career at Athletic Bilbao before transitioning to coaching. He passed on all his skills and love of football to his son, Andoni Cedrún, who later became a renowned goalkeeper. Off the field, Carmelo was incredibly outspoken, straightforward, and always upheld his principles. He lived a simple life in Durango, dedicating time to his family and personal hobbies such as gardening and mountain climbing. He was always respected for his integrity and unwavering passion for football. His social activism focused primarily on supporting the community in his hometown, where he is considered a living legend. The link between his role as the last line of defense on the field and his real life is his protectiveness and responsibility towards his family. While on the field, he was a fierce warrior in goal. Off the field, Carmelo Cedrún was a warm and loving father and grandfather. Today, at 95, he lives a peaceful life and remains an inspiration to young goalkeepers at San Mamés. His journey is a testament to enduring effort, a towering figure who continues to provide shade for Basque football to this day. Joan Segarra entered the 1962 World Cup at the age of 34, the oldest and most experienced player in the defense. Dubbed El Gran Capitán, the captain of Barcelona, he brought composure and a superior ability to read the game. In the Spanish squad that year, Segarra was the orchestrator of the defense, the most influential voice in maintaining discipline. His performance in Chile, despite his declining physical strength, was still full of the composure and wisdom of a master defender. After retiring in 1964, Segarra didn't leave football but became an outstanding youth coach at Barcelona, making a significant contribution to nurturing talent for the club. Off the field, he was an extremely knowledgeable, calm man with a profound humanistic philosophy. He always emphasized respect for opponents and honesty in sports. Segarra had a peaceful family life. He was a kind grandfather who often told his grandchildren stories of the fiery matches of the past. The way he balanced his status as a legend with a simple private life earned him everyone's admiration. He spent his final years participating in local social activities, living amidst the love of his neighbors and former fans. The image of a silent hero leading his teammates on the field strangely reflected his life, as he was always a source of moral support for his family and students. While on the field, he was a dignified and disciplined man. Off the field, Joan Segarra was an incredibly kind and compassionate man. However, that dignified journey came to an end. On September 3, 2008, Joan Segarra passed away at the age of 81 in Barcelona. His passing left immeasurable grief, but the name Captain will forever remain a symbol of dedication and noble character in Barcelona's history.